Right now, behind the record-breaking heights of the global stock market, a desperate cash flow crisis is forcing the tech industry into its most violent structural shift in decades. Over the first half of 2026, the technology sector quietly executed a brutal purge, liquidating more than 150,000 corporate jobs. Major tech titans like Intel, Microsoft, and Oracle are aggressively cutting traditional software workforces to free up billions in capital. But this isn't a standard corporate cost-cutting cycle. This is a forced structural migration. At the exact same moment, commercial court filings reveal that total U.S. bankruptcy cases have leapt nearly 12%, driven by a shocking 67% explosion in Subchapter 5, small and mid-business liquidations. Tech startups are getting caught in a fatal macro squeeze. Their historic business models are running completely dry, while their raw computational debt is expanding To understand how this economic trap works, we have to look directly at the underlying mechanics of modern software as a service, or SaaS. For over 10 years, enterprise software companies scaled using a very predictable playbook: borrow cheap venture capital, spend aggressively on marketing, and lock corporate clients into multi-year recurring software licenses. But in mid-2026, corporate balance sheets are reacting to persistent macroeconomic pressure and tighter credit. Fortune 500 enterprise buyers are ruthlessly auditing their internal software tool stacks, cutting non-essential software applications, and aggressively redirecting those budgets into foundational AI testing. This sudden shift has triggered the highest enterprise customer churn rate in modern software history. Software providers are seeing their monthly subscription revenues drop off a cliff, turning their once valuable recurring portfolios into highly vulnerable corporate liabilities. The primary casualties of this cash drain are the software companies operating as middleman AI wrappers. These startups built entire business models by placing basic user software interfaces over foundation models owned by massive tech conglomerates. Today, their gross profit margins are collapsing below 20% because they do not own their core infrastructure. They are trapped in a terminal economic spiral. To process user actions, these startups must buy immense amounts of compute power from hyperscalers who are pouring a staggering $690 billion into building advanced data centers this year alone. Non-AI startups cannot get funded because venture capital firms have bottlenecked their money, while AI wrapper startups are realizing that all their venture cash is being paid out directly to data center operators just to keep their systems online. The structural data exposes a massive disconnect in tech economics. The tech ecosystem is currently facing a $600 billion annual deficit between the capital being spent on high-performance infrastructure and the actual cash revenue being generated by end users. Investors are completely rewriting the venture playbook, shifting away from user acquisition hype and focusing strictly on real balance sheet cash efficiency. In this strict capital environment, the old Silicon Valley model of burning cash for market share is permanently over. The tech companies that survive the rest of 2026 will not be the ones with the largest funding rounds, but the lean operators holding proprietary data moats and self-sustaining gross margins. The great tech compute debt purge is actively resetting the market, and the rules of corporate survival have changed forever.